Dane County officials say delays are costing taxpayers in the decade-long jail consolidation project. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Lee Mills. Now, that plays into decisions that county supervisors have to make in the days ahead. NBC 15's Michelle Beck is live in the studio. Michelle, we know the county wants funding for this project approved.
And Lee, county officials say the clock is ticking. They'll have a final design for the new jail in the next few weeks, but if the funding is not approved by the spring, bidding on construction cannot happen. That would further delay this project, potentially increasing costs due to inflation. As top Dane County leaders hope for a new 6-story jail with more than 800 beds.
The city-county building jail is in such bad condition that it is now partially closed down, necessitating the shipping of inmates to facilities in other counties.
The question of how to fund the jail is up to the Board of Supervisors. They can vote to approve the $13.5 million still needed by transferring it from unused capital projects. They can also vote to take it to the public by referendum in the spring.
The board needs to bring this decade-old issue to a final resolution for the health, safety, and welfare of all of Dane County.
Meanwhile, as the final design has yet to provide an exact total cost of the project, District 17 Supervisor Jacob Wright wrote to us, "If the goal is to proceed on that design, I'd rather hold a funding vote in the spring." Supervisor April Kigea also wrote, "It's, quote, irresponsible to put forth a referendum or budget amendment without a final number." But without a new jail, fast.
Yes, we are still reallocating residents to other facilities for safety purposes.
Sheriff Calvin Barrett says other costs can burden taxpayers. Transferring jail residents out of county is also in next year's budget.
$1.3 million that could be used in better ways to have a safe, humane, and rehabilitative facility.
In addition to her statement, Supervisors Wright and Kigea told us no member of the Black Caucus knew about today's press conference. Supervisor Kigea called it disheartening and said, quote, "We call into question our colleagues' commitment to collaboration on this important matter." Live in the studio, Michelle Beck, NBC 15 News.